Hi everyone. The last video that we're going to do on security, I want to start by talking about Windows Defender. Windows Defender is the built-in antivirus program that Windows gives you with Windows 10. Now, I'm not going to discuss whether it's the best or whether it's good enough or anything like that, but it is free, it is here, and so I want to talk a little bit about how you can configure it and use it. So it's located down in your system tray. It's a program that runs the whole time. When your system is launched, this is one of the first applications that is running. So if I click on the little triangle here, this shield with a green check, meaning everything is good, this is Windows Defender. If I right-click on it and open, it opens up the Windows Defender Security Center, and we can now get at different features of Windows Defender. The one I want to deal with specifically is right here, the shield, which is the virus and threat protection. You can also get at it from here. This gives us a list of what's happened. I have scanned this computer. This is many of the files I've scanned. I have 0 threats. I can also initiate a quick scan, or I can go to an advanced scan where I can maybe even select a custom scan that I want, which will choose which files and folders I want scanned. In other words, I can omit certain locations to be scanned if I want it to be, if I want to target a scan, if I want it to be very fast. Another thing I can do is an offline scan. Some viruses, if they are connected to the internet, they can get information from their home server, making it really difficult to find them and to remove them. If you take your system offline and do a scan, sometimes Windows Defender can find additional threats. It is what it is. This is not the most robust virus scan out there, but it offers you protection and it's free. Going back to the virus and threat protection, down here, protection updates. This is a way to check that your definitions are up to date. Definitions are patterns, virus patterns that the antivirus software looks for. You need to keep the protections, you need to keep the patterns up to date, because these definitions, if they're not up to date, they're going to fall behind, because malware producers, virus creators, are working every day to get around the current security that we have. And so as they come across new viruses, new zero-day exploits, they're going to add them to the definitions. So you want to make sure that the updates are occurring regularly. Again, if you see the little green checkbox, that means everything is running all right. If at any time this becomes yellow or red, you know that things are not being updated properly, and you need to look into it and see how to get them working again. Okay, so that's Windows Defender in a nutshell. While we're on the subject of updates, I want to talk about Windows updates. If I go down to the Start menu and Settings, and then scroll down to Update and Security, we can get to Windows Update. Now, Windows Update is one of those things that needs to be done on a regular basis to keep your system secure and functioning. You can, in Windows Update here, you can actually manually check for updates if you think there's something you should have and you don't. You may check your update history to see what's been updated. And down here, you can actually change the settings. Active hours is the hours in which Windows Update will not run. Active hours means I'm planning on working on my machine between 8 and 5, so don't try and run updates then. So it'll check after or before your active hour set to try and find updates. It says here maximum 18 hours, so you can change these based on your workflow. Restart options are basically telling you when the system will restart to install those updates. We've all had a situation where you go to work on a machine, you turn it on, and now it's running updates because it never restarted before or something like that. This forces a specific time that the system is going to restart. It'll pop up, say, hey, we're going to restart now, and then it'll actually happen. This can be annoying, but at the same time, system updates need to run, and the more you put them off, the less secure your system is going to be overall. Now, you can make other settings changes, here in advanced options. This is where the bulk of the changes and the configuration happens. So the first thing you can do here is get updates from other Microsoft products the same way from your Windows Update. You can get Office updates, you can get Windows Defender definition updates. The same way, basically, Windows will go out, look for them, and automatically install them. Use my sign in to automatically finish setting. What they're trying to say here is once the system reboots, it will go to your login screen, but it will require your login in order to finish setting up the system. In other words, it won't just reboot, log you in, and then you're back to normal. It forces you to log in with your password after an update occurs, which is another security setting. You can leave, let it run updates, come back a couple hours later. No one's logged into your machine. You have to log in order to finish the updates. Now, choose when updates are installed. This is different than past versions of Windows. The way we have it set up now is there are two branches. There's the current branch, which these updates have been checked and are ready for pretty much everyone. They've been tested and they don't break anything as far as Windows knows. Current branch for business is a little more strict than that. Ready for widespread use in organizations means they've done a lot of testing and they can be fairly confident it won't break anything. This is a real problem in the past. Windows updates would make some changes and businesses would run updates only to find out that some of their applications no longer worked with the new update, and then they'd have to roll them all back and it'd be a real pain for everyone. And so updates kind of left a bad taste in people's mouths with that. There were a lot of solutions that were implemented to try and mitigate that. And this is Microsoft trying to make things easier for large businesses. A feature update or a quality update. These are different kinds of updates. These feature update is new stuff that Windows can do. Quality update are security updates. We can change how long these updates can be deferred or not installed. Again, if you're running a production environment, you may have a bunch of custom applications that you want to make sure that these updates aren't going to break before you let them in. And so you can, here in Windows Update, you can say, all right, so anything that's not security related, I want to defer that for a couple months. I don't care about new features. I want to make sure they're all going to work with everything I have before they get installed. And security updates, you can do the same thing, but you can have a separate amount of days. Notice they only allow you to go up to 30 days with security updates before they force you to install them. Now, how updates are delivered. This is pretty cool. Updates nowadays, if you have more than one Windows machine in your local network, whether it's at home or in a business, you can have some machines download some of the updates or even parts of the updates. And then once they have them, when another machine wants to run updates, they can get the already downloaded updates from machines inside your network. This is much, much faster than trying to get them all from Microsoft, and puts much less of a strain on your internet connection. So this is a neat thing that they've implemented, and it allows for a number of different machines to download bits of the update at different times and then just share them all. So that is it for Windows Update. This is something that when you are in a larger environment with group policy, the update policy may be very different and may be controlled centrally from a server or something. But if you are running individual machines, you'll need to be going into Windows Update on these machines to make sure that they're configured how you would like them and that you are getting the updates. This is something also, if you have a small office and you only have a few machines, you need to be checking regularly to make sure that the updates are occurring. So that's going to be it for this week. I'm going to have a short video separately later this week that's going to discuss encryption and hashing and how that works, but it's pretty much a separate issue. I know it's put in this chapter, but it's really ancillary. It's really separate from the running and configuring of a Windows machine, understanding that. It's important to understand, and so I'll have a short video describing it, but just to be clear, it's in the book, you'll need to know it. That's not something that I'm going to be expecting, I'm going to be testing you on and expecting you to be able to come up with all on your own in the exam. Speaking of the exam is going to be posted this following week with instructions on what needs to get done. And so please take a look at that and contact me if you have any questions. All right, good luck and have a good week.